And by the way, those are the only two options. Ladies and gentlemen, The Right Stuff is all about getting into the right dating pool with people who share the same values and beliefs as you. You'll start off by building your perfect profile. No pronouns necessary.
So I made a video back in January basically talking about certain conservative dating apps, and probably surprising no one, most of these apps have been huge failures, but there is a new app coming out and it's going to be completely different from the old apps. It's going to be a big success. I do find it funny how there doesn't really seem to be a massive left-wing equivalent of all these conservative dating apps, and it seems like the ones that cry about safe spaces all the time and being triggered are the people who need to create their own safe spaces for dating because they can't handle the rejection that often comes with being a conservative. Because what I've found a lot with the conservative mentality and the conservative entitlement mentality, and of course I'm mainly talking about like straight relationships, conservative men often think that they are entitled to any women and women should just ignore their politics because that is a separate thing from their actual personality. And I think the American context is helpful here, although it's not exclusive to America, is where a lot of people treat politics like a sport and you just pick a team. And to a lot of people, they don't see how picking that team is completely representative of your own personal views, which are extremely important in a relationship. But anyway, we're going to have a look at this new conservative dating app. We're going to have some fun with this one. Just look at conservative dating profiles and look at how conservatives are always whining that no one wants to date them because of the woke culture. It's nothing to do with them being bad people for being conservatives. So all of that coming up for you today. Before we go any further, please like the video, and in the comments, I guess what I'm most interested in is, for anyone watching this, I guess you can even be conservative, what is the most different in politics you would date? So a lot of these conservatives don't particularly want to date liberal people, right? And in my opinion, the furthest I would go is like naive liberal. Someone who maybe like wants to do the right things and believes in generally good social things, but maybe naive about like the causes of the world's problems, might not be an anti-capitalist, just kind of like by default growing up in like a Western capitalist country. I don't think I'd be able to go out with like a proper ideological liberal, but just someone who's generally liberal or leftist. They don't have to be crazy about politics, but just have good values, which are often representative of their political beliefs. But let me know in the comments. Also, let me know, have you ever dated someone with the complete opposite politics, and how did that go? Also, follow me on social media at the Kavernacle, on Twitter, on Instagram. Check out the subreddit down in the description. And also check out my second channel, the Kavernacle Extra. I will get back to live streaming. I hopefully will do one on Saturday and then continue next week. Also, for every 5k, we get a new chocolate orange. You will notice I haven't bought the most recent one for 80k. Truth be told, I've been waiting for this new chocolate orange to be released, a toffee chocolate orange, as the finishing touch. I will hold out for maybe another week before just buying like a random other one. I think this is probably completed now because I'm going to Vietnam at the start of September. Can't bring the oranges with me, but we'll see how it goes. And also consider becoming a patron. I'm trying to build up as many $1 to $3 patrons as possible. And the benefits of becoming a patron are getting access to the Discord server and access to my Nintendo Switch friend code. I think we should start the video by looking at the new conservative dating app called The Right Stuff. Now, they did a big advert about this, which we're going to get into because it is pretty funny. But on their website, you just see The Right Stuff. The Right Stuff was created for conservatives to connect in authentic and meaningful ways. Other dating apps have gone woke. We bring people together with shared values and similar passions. A dating app for the right wing. Quit swiping, scrolling, and trolling the wrong people. There are people out there just like you. And here is Brittany, looks like a country girl, although does like Ed Sheeran. I don't know how conservative that is. So discover other conservatives. Connect with people who aren't offended by everything. Not like these conservatives like want a safe space because they are offended by everything. So here's the dating profile. Paul, former college athlete, love country music, nominated for Uncle of the Year. videographer, 3 miles away, 6'1", wants children, Catholic, and drinks sometimes. Getting back to normal, view profiles without pronouns. Your next match is here. And if you go on their Instagram, which doesn't have much of a following yet, they have some testimony which is totally not fake. I'm so excited about the Date Right Stuff dating app. It has been a major struggle finding men whose values align with mine. It's also been hard finding good men who are conservatives. I'm so thankful for y'all and the opportunity to find something better. So the testimony they're posting on their own Instagram is basically saying it's very, very hard to find good men who are conservative because that's not telling at all. Before we get into the funny advert, this app is also backed by Peter Thiel, who is gay himself. And this dating app actually does not allow same-sex relationships. And it's also co-founded by Daniel Huff, who worked in Trump's Department of Housing and Urban Development, who told The Hill that such an app has really not been done before, though it has many times. So Huff said, it's an important, underserved market. Liberals own the education, media corporations, and we can't let them control our personal relationships. So anyway, they have a 2-minute advert on their YouTube channel, and let's have a look at it.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan. I've got to tell you about something I am so excited to announce. A dating app for all of us conservatives. It's called The Right Stuff, and it's launching this September. What I love most about it is that it's invite only, so not just anyone can join. First of all, it's free to use. And for my ladies, you'll never have to pay because we all get premium subscriptions for simply inviting a couple friends. Gentlemen, if you want access to premium, that's on you. And by the way, those are the only 2 options. Ladies and gentlemen, The Right Stuff is all about getting into the right dating pool with people who share the same values and beliefs as you. You'll start off by building your perfect profile. No pronouns necessary. We want you to put your best foot forward, which includes your favorite photos of yourself doing what you love or being with the people you love. Our prompts give you the opportunity to let people know various sides of you. So remember, be authentic and creative. We're sorry that you've had to endure years of bad dates and wasted time with people that don't see the world our way, the right way. Okay, once you're in the app, you have the ability to scroll through profiles of people in your area, but you can also adjust the settings to see anyone, anywhere. Once you've liked a couple people, you're ready to post a date. You can either keep your options open and post it for everyone to see, or just post it to the people you've liked. This concept is all about getting you out there and getting you on dates. So you'll go to the bottom navigation, click on dates, and then you'll go to the top right-hand corner and hit the plus button. From there, you can create your ideal date. You choose the time and place, and you also have the luxury of choosing the dates that you would like to go on. In the app, you can see everyone who's liked your profile, and if you like them back, you can start chatting with them. It's that simple. So if you're a young conservative looking to amp up your dating life, go to joinrightstuff.com to gain early access. We need to get back to the right way of dating. See you there.
So I don't really know how to start with this. I do like how they know this inherently will be a sausage fest by giving women free premium where men have to pay for premium, because generally dating apps do have more men on them anyway. And I guess conservatism and far-right American conservatism is like a more masculine ideology because it is all about promoting the status quo and protecting the status quo and protecting the patriarchy. So you're probably going to get less women on these apps. So I understand to a degree a conservative dating app. But the angle they're going for with like the anti-woke stuff, like there's no pronouns, there's no like same-sex relationships on this app, like there's none of that woke nonsense. But then in normal dating apps, can't you just like not message people with pronouns on their profile? Like if you aren't like bisexual or gay, you're just not gonna message people who are like the same sex as you. Like this gimmick feels very unnecessary, and I don't know why that would incentivize even conservative people, I guess. And I think the only incentive to join this is you think by default your values will help you get more matches, and that could be true, and I'm going to talk about later how politics are very important to personal relationships. But the angle it's taking, it makes me laugh, and how they think it's like different, like just saying, you know, you don't have pronouns, you can't have same-sex matches. Everything else seems pretty standard for a dating app. So again, my prediction is it will be probably like 90% plus men signing up. And then for most men, the women that they're trying to match with will be really far away, and they will just think this app is pointless. And then in a couple years, like multiple other dating apps for conservatives, this company will just go under and the app will not be available anymore. It's extremely hard to break into the dating app marketplace, which is so dominated by just a handful of companies like many other businesses. I just don't see anything in this app that will break any new ground, even for conservatives. But let me know in the comments, do you think that this will be popular, and do you think there will be a lot of appeal to conservatives to go on a conservative only dating app? Because as we're going to get into, while a lot of left-wing people don't want to date conservatives, a lot of conservatives, especially conservative men, actually get quite offended that left-wing women do not want to date them, and they actually do want to date liberal women. Because to a lot of conservative men, they don't actually care about the relationship, they just want to go for a girl if they find them attractive. While of course that's a factor for women, it does seem, as we're going to get into a bit later as well, and there's evidence for this, that women value people's own politics and values more than men do. So this is how you get this woe is me attitude of conservatives, that no liberals want to date them and they must create their own safe space dating apps so they don't get as much rejection. So on the subject of liberal people often not wanting to date conservatives, I thought it'd be funny if we looked at some conservative Tinder profiles and look at what the person responsible for an old conservative dating app that has gone under has to say about this. Because when you look at some of these profiles, it's very much not surprising that a lot of conservatives, especially conservative men, feel like they can't actually get dates on dating apps. So a Vox report from 2018, for conservatives by conservatives, the rise of right-wing dating apps, Emily Moreno, the founder of Donald Daters, told me once she had a date walk out on her before the drinks had even arrived, after she said she had worked on a Republican Senate campaign, and that was before Trump got elected. I continue to hear these stories from my friends about how when they're on these standard dating apps, they're always told they won't get a first date. It's right there in the bio. Trump supporters swipe left. The people that do get a first date either don't get a second, or they have to self-censor. I think it's very telling about where we are right now, and it's sad that politics have become entrenched in our dating lives. I do find this really hilarious from someone who worked on a Republican campaign and has created an app called Donald Daters. Literally, you are looking for people who support Donald Trump to be your new partner or whatever. Like I said earlier, I feel like a lot of Americans view politics as some sort of sport, and you can divorce your own ethics and morality from who you vote for, when of course we know that's not the case. But anyway, she's moaning about conservatives not getting dates or not getting second dates. I thought let's look at some actual Tinder profiles of conservatives. So here's the first one. Angie, 44. About me. American flags. No libs. Okay, I don't like liberals either. No vegans. I mean, that's a bit weird. But what's this? No gamers? I mean, if you want any more evidence that gamers are one of the most oppressed groups in society, just look at the casual way she is saying she won't date any gamers. And then she says, seriously, I mean it. No liberals. Okay, Angie, I won't match with you. So here is another one, fittingly called Karen. Fun, funny, and full of sarcasm. Looking for LTR only. No hookups here. I love life and live living it. I think she meant love. I have a strong personality and need someone who challenges me. No liars. I am curvy and chubby, and I am only into white men. I love to hunt and fish and travel and axe throw. I enjoy weird things, quirky and sweet, yet sassy and real. I even have a brain and a high IQ. I'm glad you have a brain that allows your whole body to function. Apparently, this is important to say these days, but I'm a Republican. I love Trump, pro-police and military, and I have no filter. I couldn't guess that you had no filter from saying that you are only into white men earlier, and I also couldn't guess that you were a Republican when you said you were only into white men. I wonder why left-wing people don't want to date conservatives. So here's another one, 29, business owner, bulldog owner, Lotus owner, business owner, non-PC, no snowflakes. I need a girl that can have a laugh. If you like spontaneous adventure, swipe right. Not interested in fat or bubbly girls, not interested in girls that say I don't take life seriously, you should, but at the same time, have a laugh. I'm on a busy and crazy journey, come join me. I don't know if bubbly means something different in America, but this guy wants someone to have a laugh with, but doesn't want a bubbly girl. And aren't bubbly girls normally people who are up for a laugh? Let me know down in the comments. But again, wonder why people don't want to date conservatives. Some of these I can't even tell if they're satire, so get a load of this one. Hello there, red, white and beautiful. Are you tired of weak dudes that drink soy lattes? Soy is for pussies, and I'm here to grab yours. I like my women, like my coffee, hot and ready in the morning. Every time I get an erection, a bald eagle cries out an American pride, and the flag flies a little harder. I'm a free American, and I want to know if you're free tonight. My anthem, America the Beautiful. Okay, so I'm like maybe 60% sure that's satire, but the fact I can't tell on everything I've read is pretty telling. So the first like 2 paragraphs I can fully believe, but then the third one about the erection, I don't know, that seems a bit too much. So another one, 40 years old, so I wonder why this guy doesn't get many matches. Looking for a fun companion to share some time with. I'm a pureblood, so don't be COVID vaxxed. I love to garden, cook, fish, bonfires, and anything outside. I'm a hardcore American, am a Trump supporter, and have no time for liberal women. If you're pro-choice, you're pro-lonely. If you want a pro-choice guy, you want a soy boy. If you want to know where the real men are, try a MAGA man like me. Well, MAGA man, I guess women do not like real men like you since you're 40 and trying to pick up women with this type of bio. So here's the most insane one I've found. So Metropolitan State University, trigger warning, white straight conservative male, trigger warning, white straight conservative Christian male, a feminist's worst nightmare, full of misogyny and racism and all the societal phobias. Brackets, if you're a crazy person leftist, you've swiped left and are in tears of rage. If you're a normal person, you have tears of laughter and will get along famously. Since everyone is into love languages these days, I like when you want to spend quality time and I like doing acts of service. I'm so happy you've told me your love language by writing that you think bigotry is funny and normal. Okay, maybe conservatives do need their own dating app since they're so insane. I'm probably too empathetic because I actually feel bad for some of these people because it's so pathetic, their bios, and they do not have the self-awareness to see how insane this seems to like 90% of the population. Like even a lot of conservatives, I'd imagine, wouldn't write bios like this, apart from like these hardcore Trump supporters. And then they wonder why people don't like them, and they wonder why people won't date them. And don't get me wrong, their politics are a reflection of them as a person, but as someone who doesn't really believe in free will and believes we're all conditioned to believe certain things by our environment, and it's very hard to break away from that, like I said, I kind of feel bad for these people. And again, it's just totally insane to post this sort of stuff as a first impression. Like, you literally want people to match with you based on this. Like, who do you think's gonna match on you based on this? Just literally the most fanatical conservatives who may not be very mentally stable. But like I said, zero self-awareness, and these people complain about supposed communist women, liberal women, leftist women not wanting to date conservative men when they present themselves like this. Now, this is a phenomenon which isn't just relegated to the US. And in the US, I think it's more evident because of the Overton window, where most Republicans are so extreme, you can totally understand it. But a lot of more like classical liberal or centre-right people, or I guess more like centrist conservatives in the UK, they cannot seem to understand why people on dating apps are looking for someone who shares similar values to them. And as someone who's been in a relationship for 9.5 years and has been in a relationship with someone since I was just 17, obviously I didn't start dating someone for their politics at that age, but I did start dating them for our compatibility and of course having similar values, right? And as we've gotten older and gone through our political developments, our politics are pretty similar, and that has helped sustain the relationship, because if we did not have the same political views, I'm not 100% sure we'd still be together, because especially in the insanely polarizing times we're living in, and just, the late stage capitalist world we're living in, if I was dating someone who had the complete opposite worldview to me on that, it would be hard. But then if I had someone who had complete opposite social values to me and social views, then that is pretty much a deal breaker, right? And if you want a relationship, not just a hookup, these things are very important to you. So I read this article in my last video like months and months ago, but it's just too good. Like, it's too good not to read. And it's one of the biggest conservatives posting their L's I have ever seen in my life. Like, why someone would write this article and publish with their name attached to it, I do not know. So, a tweet by the Times: dating, it seems, has been swallowed by the culture wars. From my skewed sample, all university-educated London dwellers aged between 24 and 33, there was a reoccurring theme. No Tories allowed. That is probably one of the most unsurprising things I've ever read if you grow up in London, which is a more left-wing city than like most of the UK. Young women not wanting to take Conservatives, especially during the times we're living in, especially with our current Tory government, really not surprising at all. And then the guy quote tweeted it because he's been memed so hard. The replies to this are a vindication for the premise of my piece. My views aren't problematic, hideous word, but people are made intolerant by algorithms. So this guy taking zero responsibility for his horrible worldviews and his politics, which turn women off. It's actually algorithms. It's algorithms which mean he can't get a date at 29. I love the title of the article as well, by the way. Undateable at 29. So let's get into this hilarious article and just laugh at David. If it says conservative on their Hinge, it's a big fat no from me. I really respect that. One said, another remarked, any non-liberal vibes are a big turn-off. Only a couple admitted that they had and would date a conservative voter, which mimics a trend I've noticed during a hefty stretch of singledom. My Hinge profile conveys the way I look, my hobbies, my occupation, my level of education, my vax status, and my politics. There is the option to display whether you are liberal, conservative, or moderate. Mine is set to liberal because I think it's true, and because to do otherwise would be a romantic disaster. So it's not actually true. You are conservative, but you put in liberal in to trick women. I've looked at a lot of these profiles, read thousands of prompts, never seen one that criticises the Labour Party. Those deriding the Conservatives, though, are plentiful. One common response is the basic, you should not go out with me if you are a Tory. And with that position comes a list of ideological requirements displayed which feels incongruous with attraction. One prevalent prompt reads, together we could dismantle the patriarchy. I mean, yes, I'm up for it, let's improve the world, so you're not actually up for it, it seems. But are you sure that's the best place to start? Is that what we'll do at the weekend? I'm here for equality, promise, doubt it, but shall we have dinner first? One woman is looking for a fellow lefty to build a queer feminist utopia with, so does that mean you don't want to get drunk, potentially snog, and maybe one day combine our salaries so we can get a mortgage? Again, this guy is first insanely boring, so I'm not surprised he's been single for so long. So it seems like he has a problem with one woman looking for a fellow lefty to build a queer feminist utopia with because it's like a long-term thing. So he says, does that mean you don't want to get drunk and potentially snog? But then he starts talking about combining our salaries to get a mortgage. So his problem seems to be he can't get dates based on like basic attraction, but then wants someone long-term to combine his salary with to get a mortgage. Another is searching for a vegan, BOM, ally, intersectional feminist, climate change activist. What? Those are your non-negotiables. I am not deriding their significance, and I couldn't date a climate change denier, but what relevance does this have to love or attraction? What about luxurious hair and a laughter and a nice face? So he's already conflating the two things here, right? So love and attraction are different things. Love is about like shared values, and attraction might come into that, but that does have relevance to love. If you want someone who shares the same values as you and might do the same career path or might do the same activism as you, that is part of being in love with someone. It does not have anything to do with very, very surface level attraction. This guy can't really get his argument straight. This has me worried. I'm nearly 30. I'm single. Have I now inadvertently passed into the most heinous category of undateable? Am I problematic? After all, I read a piece in The Economist last week. Is anything to the right of Novara Media beyond the pale? I watch Champions League football for work, Am I endorsing international air travel contrary to the aims of the ecological socialism? Perhaps I'll just lie. I could be better off, and it does seem to be what everyone else is doing. This is the pattern, the Twitterization of life. Everything you believe must be believed stridently and broadcast widely. Your assumed ideology must be all-encompassing. A little F the Tories here, a little red rose emoji there, a New Yorker tote bag slung over the shoulder. I want the pretense to stop. I don't want someone who is ideologically pure. I want someone who is beautiful and who makes me laugh. But I've said it now, definitely beyond the pale, so I suppose I'll just stay single. I don't think there's anything you could do to me to make me write an article like that, even if I 100% believed it. It would have helped if this guy wasn't single, but it's even more hilarious that he is. Basically blaming him being single on everyone else. It's nothing to do with him. It's nothing to do with his worldviews. Are there not conservative women out there? He seems mad liberal and leftist women won't date him. And I don't understand, right? If you are conservative and pretending you're liberal, just date conservative women. It's not like there are none out there. But these conservative men always feel like leftist women owe them something. Like, you owe them a date. You owe them a date to see if you will get on. And the politics is secondary to that. And like he says at the end, he's looking for someone to make him laugh and is beautiful. That's not good enough for a long-term relationship. Because, yeah, you might go on a date, you might get a couple drinks, and you might have political differences, and you'll have a good time. How is that going to be sustainable for years to come? This guy's saying also he wants to combine salaries and get a mortgage with someone. Massive life commitment. How are you going to stay together if you don't have similar values? Like, you're deriding people who support Black Lives Matter and who watch and read Novara media, but then you want these same people to give you a chance. Again, this seems like a guy who is not having success with dating due to his own personal problems, and like the conservative dating app, it's blaming woke culture for his own problems and own insecurities. Just blaming everyone else, taking no accountability. And like I said, imagine posting this and thinking it makes sense, thinking you're making a good argument. The Conservatives won a massive majority at the last election, right? I can't seriously believe there is no way you can find conservative women, or just women who do not even care about politics that much, that they will shun you. It seems like you're just offended by Tinder profiles that automatically won't give you a chance, and you won't have the chance to work your charms on left-wing women, so they'll completely forget your totally awful politics. So I don't know how these guys don't understand politics are a reflection of your values, and if you want something more than a hookup, you're going to have to share similar values, or that's not going to last a long time. Yeah, of course, maybe back in the day, the olden days, you could have different politics, but nowadays, women have more options. Of course, thanks to social progress, women aren't trapped in these relationships and mostly don't have to become mothers or have jobs like teachers and nurses exclusively. They can be financially independent, so they don't have to settle for garbage men. So in my opinion, even though I find the right-wing bios funny, like how they're talking about being a conservative or leftist, if that's really important to you, you might as well get it out of the way to start with. Like, I would write that on my Tinder bio if I ever had a Tinder. I would say no conservatives, no Tories, no centrists. I would say that because what's the point of even maybe pursuing a relationship with someone if I want a relationship if I'm not going to like them based on their political views which represent their values? Do I want to go on a couple dates with someone, really get on with them and like them, then find out they have like social views which are completely against my own, and I have to break it off, and it's a massive waste of time? What's the point in that? So generally, as someone who's had a long-term relationship, and as you know, we are growing older and nearly hitting a decade together, you see more and more how much compatibility is literally the most important thing in a relationship. And of course, you know, we're still young, we're still like attracted to each other, but there's so many things as you enter adulthood. Things like how much you value money, when do you want to settle down, when do you want children, do you want to get married, all these different things. How do you feel about the political climate in the UK? How do you feel about potentially maybe leaving the UK? All these things have like come up for us, and it helps that we're broadly on the same page. So there are plenty of ways you guys can change, but it helps to have a set of values that you both share. Because as someone who is in a long-term relationship, if you don't have that, I feel like when you get older and get past the initial stages, the honeymoon phase, being really attracted to each other in this new relationship, it's not going to be sustainable. Anyway, that is it for the video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And if you made it this far, thank you for watching.